What up, Pink ladies, T-birds, just happen to be watchers of my shit. My name is JImmiPynk. Oh, y'all want to talk about popping pills? Y'all ain't original.
I'm sorry.
So, thank you so much for joining me. This is the second video, so day 2 of the Hunt for Pink October. If you are new to this channel, what that is that I do a video every day wearing pink every day for the month of October to raise money for breast cancer awareness. The link to the Hunt for Pink October link is down below in the description. The money goes directly to Susan G. Komen for the cure. I do not touch the money, so feel free to donate there. Now on to the shit. So, as I was trying to make this schedule and try to figure out what I was going to do, I looked to trusty Hulu and Netflix to see what was coming for October. Now, truth be told, today is actually the first day. But what I got for y'all today is something special. And it is one of my all-time favorite so bad it's good movies. Even better than Grease 2. Oh yes! We're talking about Valley of the Dolls. Now, a couple different reasons that I chose this movie when I found out that it was going to be available on Hulu in October. And if you do have Hulu and you've never seen it, or you just enjoyed the movie and you want to see it again, it is available on Hulu right now. First of all, I feel like the movie is hella relevant. Okay? We have a story about 3 women. We have a story about addiction to prescription drugs. We have a story about women being famous just based on what they look like. We have a story about women dating niggas on the down low. But most importantly, and what really stuck out to me, is we have a subplot about breast cancer. Jacqueline Suzanne herself had breast cancer, and she did eventually die of cancer. That's the author of the book. And from what I'm told, she thought this movie was a piece of shit and the book was better. So anyway, let's get into this. So, I don't know how to talk to y'all about this if you've never seen it, because I don't want to just run down the plot. But in me talking about this movie, I'm going to eventually run down the plot. So spoiler alert, you've been warned. So we have these 3 women. We have Ann Wells, we have Neely O'Hara, and we have, what the fuck is Jennifer's name? Jennifer North. So all 3 of them are friends because they all meet in New York and they're all trying to make something of themselves in New York. I want to start with Ann Wells because it is implied that she is the lead, she is the protagonist. We come in with her narration, we end on her story. Because some kind of way, all of a sudden, now this movie was some kind of way about some women empowerment at the end. Girl, let's talk about Ann Wells. So Ann Wells is from this little New England town. She's prim, she's proper. She's just coming to New York because before she settles down with her fiance or her pre-fiance that pins her with a fraternity pin, she wants to see what else life has to offer. And she wants to go to New York and stay at the Martha Washington Hotel for women. Men aren't allowed. She's so prim and proper. I'm telling y'all, she's prim and proper for a reason. Because Ann gets a job as a secretary for an attorney, but he's not a regular attorney. He's an entertainment attorney. And his nephew works there too, and all the women want his nephew. What's the nephew's name? Lion. All the women want Lion. Miss Wells is just like, I'm just here to get my job. He calling her Miss Wells. Her name is Ann. But Ann is there to make her mark. And then that's the first time that we see Neely O'Hara, who is Patty Duke. Straight off the Patty Duke show. She pulled some Spring Breaker shit before it was some Spring Breaker shit. She pulled some Miley Cyrus shit before it was some Miley Cyrus shit. What I mean by that is Patty Duke, for those of y'all who don't know who Patty Duke is, used to have a TV show, The Patty Duke Show, and they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find. But it was a very family-friendly sitcom. When I say she's the one that plays the most fucked up role, but she played the fuck out of it. Because in the book, they all get strung out on pills. In this one, she really the only one that's strung out. Important to let you guys know that these characters also have allegories to real live people. Patty Duke is basically Judy Garland. And because of that, for as much as this movie say the word fag, and it's a lot, you've been forewarned. Movie came out in 1967. You've been forewarned. That's why gay men love this fucking movie. It's basically the Judy Garland story. Side note, little fun fact for you. The character of Helen, what's Helen's name? Helen Lawson was supposed to be played by Judy Garland, who got fired for being excessively too goddamn drunk and too high. How you love that? So anyway, Neely O'Hara, we see her singing. She's great. She's got a number in this musical. Helen Lawson, who is just a bitch, who is based on amalgam of people, but for the most part, Ethel Merman. Oh, she too good. You ain't about to outshine me in my show. I'm the only star in this show, bitch. She gotta go. She gotta go. This bitch gotta go. So, in the meantime, we also see Jennifer. Hashtag Jennifer's body. Because that's all Jennifer got. She's in the chorus. We see her in this headdress. Everybody just keeps making comments about her boobs. Again, this is important because of the breast cancer subplot and what happens to her because she felt like she was going to lose her boobs. So, long story short, Ann stays with the firm. Line gets on. Ann gets on. Stays at the job. Line trying to get on. Line also really sees Neely as a real talent. Helps him get on with another client that he got, Tony, who's based on Dean Martin, who becomes Jennifer's love interest. But Jennifer out here being motherfucking Amber and Kim. Y'all know which ones I'm talking about. Because Jen out here using what she got to get what she want, and she out here dating all these rich men and shit because she arm candy. But she ain't really got that much talent. She just fucking the right people. That's how she make her money and everything. Again, a lot of this in the movie is implied, but based on the synopsis of the book, this is what's going on. So, they get Neely on. People love Neely. They want to fly Neely and Tony out for a screening test to make it in Hollywood. Neely make it. Tony does not. Jen eventually marries this man, goes off with him. And in the meantime, Ann punches her V card with Line. Oh, she loves him. But see, ladies, this is where we get fucked up at. This movie is so fucking relevant because this shit is still going on, ladies. Myself included, this is where we get fucked up at. When a man show you who he is, believe him. When a man shows you who he is, believe him. That man told her from the very beginning, I don't ever want to get married. Marriage is not for me. But you gave him that coochie anyway, and then after your mother died, and you want to go back to Connecticut, they never say which city, but I'm just going to say Connecticut because that sounds about right. New Hampshire, one of them. Rhode Island, one of them. And you now have to go, you know, the house is basically yours once your mother passed. And he trying to get it on. And she's like, that's a marital bed. Are you proposing marriage? Bitch, you done already gave him milk. He ain't got no reason to buy the motherfucking cow. So she's like all sad and crying and devastated and said, well, you can stay in a hotel. You can't even stay here. And that nigga, skirt, skirt, skated on her ass, left her a Dear John letter. She gets devastated. Once she gets devastated, she goes back to work though. Resilient, I'm gonna go back to work. Now it's somebody that owns a makeup company. And we're gonna make you the Gillian girl. We need somebody, I want to know name. Somebody that if they put on makeup they believe she could be. We're gonna make Miss Wells the Gillian girl. That bitch is a brand. I'm telling y'all, this shit is so fucking relevant to now, and this movie is now 52 years old. This shit is fucking relevant as fuck. So she's a brand. She basically is the equivalent of a flat tummy tea girl. She's on the commercials, she's on the print ads, and now she famous for being the Gillian girl. So, Neely and Jen are out in LA. Ann and Lion is about to go visit LA. Neely ass is wildin'. Neely wildin'. You know, they went through the whole thing. She's Judy Garland. So they had her on the motherfucking uppers to get her dancing. They put her on the downers to go to sleep. She drinking. She addicted. Now she a star. So she got diva complex too. She wildin'. That bitch wildin'. Did I forget to tell you that Neely was married? I did. Neely married some sweet writer from New York. Dumped him because she started fucking her fashion designer. His name Tim Casablanca. Somebody Casablanca. I don't have that in my notes. But somebody Casablanca. Who, oddly enough, is supposed to be an allegory for Vincent Minnelli. Now, if that don't sound familiar for you, for my folks in here that ain't members of the LGBTQ crowd, because some of y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about, Vincent Minnelli is Liza's dad. And it was highly suspected that he was playing for the other team. Highly suspected. I've heard stories. Well, in the book, this is explicit. In the movie, this is when we start getting fagged. Because the husband is about to leave her, was like, you sure are spending a lot of time with that fag. And she nicely says, he ain't no fag. And I'm the woman that can prove it. Neely was a motherfucker, boy. I told y'all, Patty Duke pulled the Spring Breakers. Patty Duke pulled the Miley Cyrus. She wasn't fucking around. She said, I want away from that image, and she broke the fuck out. So, long story short, because you gotta change it up for 1967 movie release, he ends up cheating on Neely with another broad. Pretty sure in the book it's probably a dude. But anyway. But now that Lion and Ann are out there and Ann is innocent as she is. Oh yeah, because they broke up in some kind of way when she came out to LA for her shit. She meets back up with Lion. I skipped that part. Sorry about it. And you, this motherfucker, punched your V card, said, bitch, I don't want to marry you. And you thought he was going to be patient. And you said, well, you got to stay in the hotel. And you came to the hotel the next morning to come and get it. His ass skated and you gave him another chance. Ladies, men too, gay men too. When a motherfucker tell you who he is, believe him. The fuck you get back with this dude? Anyway, but they end up helping Neely. Neely goes to rehab, which is the sanitarium, is the nut house at this point, where Tony already is. Skirt, skirt. Let me go back to Tony. Tony has a degenerative disease that he didn't know that he had. That's hereditary. That's hereditary. His sister, his half-sister, because she don't have it, hid it her whole life. When they find out he got it, when his legs and shit start giving out, Jen is pregnant. Oh, they skipped over that one real good. They skipped over that one real good. They mention it, but skirt, skirt. Oh, So you mean to tell me this is hereditary? His dad had it and I'm pregnant? She gets an abortion. Yeah, they skipped right over that one. Relevant. Because guess what? The shit we going through right now, we did this motherfucking frat boy drunk get confirmed. They likely to overturn Roe versus Wade. This movie is more relevant than ever. Just saying. So, we then go into now, he's in this sanitarium. It's expensive. The sister-in-law is like, Jen, I know you love him. I know he loved you, but this is why I would never want him to date. Why I didn't want him to do this, because he never knew, but I knew. He wasn't showing signs of it. We didn't know it was going to happen for sure or not. So I didn't want him to restrict his life. But I don't want him to get married. Okay, whatever. Anyway. Well, they need money. So the sister that was Tony's manager is like, yo, my sister-in-law is hot as fuck. She got a banging body. I'm going to sell her to go do French art films. Softcore porn, folks. Like Neely says, nudie flicks. They're nudies. She was off the hook. Anyway, so Jen goes to Paris to go do that because they need the money. Because somebody got to take care of Tony. While Tony is in the sanitarium, him and Neely get together, sing a duet, which was Tony's song. He collapses back and forgets everything. Because, I mean, this disease take everything. His memory, everything. She gets out. But Neely is a motherfucker now. She got diva complex. She's a motherfucker. Yeah, I didn't say that part. Okay, so now, line is like, they want you back on Broadway. Line and pulled some strings. And she jokes to Ann, ha! I knew I can do it after I seen Tony. And I'm going to get everything I want. Ha ha! The first thing I want is this man of yours. Ha ha ha! Didn't that bitch take him? Didn't that bitch take him? Snatched him right on the fuck up. Snatched him right on the fuck up. I need you to go to New York with me for all of this stuff. And why your ass ain't go? You wasn't the Gillian girl no more. Why you ain't go? That shit was all in the tabloids and shit. Like Neely O'Hara is giving her manager more than 10%, bitch. So you see it in the paper. You call. She answered the phone like, well, he in the shower. I have him call you back. And then she kicked back with this evil ass. I'm like, woo, this bitch. But why is she my favorite character? Neely is my favorite character. Sparkle, Neely. Sparkle, bitch. Sparkle, bitch. Damn, that should have been the intro. Any old way. Excuse me. Any old way. So now you got Neely about to go on Broadway. It's somebody else that's got a number. She turns into Helen Lawson. Oh no, I'm the star of this show. This bitch gotta go. She does it on opening night though. Now she gets into it with Line. And what does he do that all men do when they ain't supposed to do it? Facepalm. Ann was right about you. You don't leave one broad for another broad and then bring that other broad up. Because when a man tell you who he is, believe him. And Neely, you knew that from Jump Street. That was just a motherfucking power move to feel better about yourself because you insecure. You know that man ain't really want you like that. You just there and that man like pussy. But any old way, he says, fuck you. She like, I kicked the booze, I kicked the pills, I don't need nobody. He like, good, because I'm out. What this bitch do? Find some pills in her makeup case and go straight back to drugs and drinking. She come out, she dressed for the wrong scene, now the understudy going on. She done fucked up her whole career. And in a scene after the whole show is over, she come out fucked up on the dolls, drinking at the bar, go outside, still in the costume. In a scene that rivals Tommy Wiseau's slow motion freak out, which rivals No More Wire Hangers, rivals Trolls. They're eating her, and now they're gonna eat me. Oh my god! You ain't seen nothing till you see the motherfucking Neely freak out. Bitch, they thought she was gonna get an Oscar nomination for this. Oh no! If the Razzie Awards would have been out, she'd have won for Best Supporting Actress for this scene alone. This bitch flips out. Where is everybody? Hey, where is everybody? Because the show was over. It done closed. You just sat there and got fucked up and high. You ain't make it to shit. The whole first thing done went. They done lied and said you had laryngitis. You fucked up. You start yelling out for Lion, Jen, and Ben. Ben was the first husband. Then she just starts saying Neely O'Hara, which is her name. And she's just screaming and breaking down in the middle of the street, and it's fucking ridiculous, which makes it fucking awesome. Now I left something out, which is the reason why I chose this movie. So let me backtrack and go back to Jen, because Jen, I put it to you like this. Jen's storyline actually is not as compelling as the other two storylines, but the fact that 2 years after the movie came out, well, first of all, the author died in 1968, and then Susan Tate died and got killed by the Manson family in 1969. And then they re-released the movie. So she lives in infamy because this was like supposed to be her big breakout role, and you know she got killed. She's not that interesting, and she's kind of a crap actress. Sorry about it. It sucks the way she fucking died, especially because she was like 8 months pregnant when it happened. And it sucks that this is the role she's always going to be known for. And that comes second to being a victim of the Charles Manson murders. So that sucks. But they cast the right person, because she was very pretty, but she was not a good actress. Neither was Tony. Tony was trash. Oh God, Tony was bad. But anyway, so after she comes back from doing the naked pictures, again, I told you, she had all these rich suitors because she was eye candy. She was obviously fucking, because she talked to her mom and said, well, yeah, I can pawn my mink again. How do you fuck you get a mink? You a chorus girl. Like, you don't got money like that. You don't got a roommate. You live by yourself. You ain't really have a dude till Tony. You was basically fucking for money. Pretty much. Pretty much. It ain't tricking if you got it, I guess. But pretty much. But her mother was always calling her asking for money. Always calling her asking for money and putting her down like, make sure you're doing your breast exercises because you know you ain't got no talent. All you is a body. So, if that's how you making your money, you better keep that shit right, keep that shit tight, keep that motherfucking money flowing. Well, now I'm going to get to the breast cancer plot. Now mind you, this is already after the husband is in the sanitarium. She done went to do the art films and everything. She goes to the doctor. She finds a lump in her breast. She has breast cancer. She had to get the biopsy. She's going to have to get a mastectomy in the morning. So in the meantime, she had called her mother in Milwaukee. Her mother finally calls her back. The mother always call collect, by the way. Don't never pay for the call, always call collect. She was calling to tell her mother, I have breast cancer. Her mother's friend or neighbor or somebody has now seen that she's done these art film movies. And that's all the mother can talk about. that's all the mother can talk about. So then at that point in time, the mother was like, well, what did you call about? She like, fuck it, nothing. She nicely goes, gets the good old bottle of the dolls. She starts having flashbacks of Tony, flashbacks of her mother. She said, fuck that, die pretty. Took the pills, kills herself. Because she felt like she didn't have nothing else to live for. She like, I done got by all my life off my rack. I'm about to lose one of them that's going to fuck my body up. My husband is gone. He's not dead, but he gone. He don't remember anything. My mother don't give a fuck about me, and now my mother is embarrassing me because they know what the fuck I've been doing. Fuck it, I ain't got nothing else to live for. And that's sad. But if you think about even stuff that's going on right now and how relevant even that is. I would say that is the one part of the movie that really got an emotional response from me. Because out of the three women, to me, she wasn't really... They say in the book none of them were likable. But in the movie, Jen didn't want to do nothing but be happy. She found the man that she loved. She got married. Again, because the mother was always begging her for money, it's heavily implied she did a lot of the shit she did to take care of her home. You know what I'm saying? She fell in love with a man who's going to have a baby, who's going to have a family, who's going to have, you know, everything they can have. He got a disease, you can't have a baby. Your husband is gone. Now you got breast cancer, your mother is embarrassed for you and you always worried about that. Fuck it, end it all. That was the one part I would say gave me the emotional response that probably a lot of scenes in this movie was trying to do but failed miserably. Moving on. So we get to Line again. So before I got into this breast cancer subplot, I mentioned that Neely Smooth just took Line right from under Ann's nose. Even though Ann said, I don't trust it. Also, ladies, always follow your gut. But I'm going to say it again, because I've said it several times this episode, and I'm going to say it again. When a man tell you who he is, believe him. But now, Ann decides, I'm going to get on the dolls because I'm depressed. And she hits the dolls. And then walks out on the beach and almost drowns and gets back up. And then decides enough is enough. I'm taking my ass back to New England. This ain't the life for me. Eventually, Lion now comes and says, yeah, I'll marry you. Ann says, too low, too late. Kick rocks. Bye. What's interesting about that is like I said, this weird ass women empowerment story that happens at the end of the movie when all of these women the whole goddamn time have been completely dependent on men. That was added on by the studio. That doesn't happen in the book. The original final scene was the Neely breakdown. That wasn't supposed to happen. I hated Ann's character because she was so dependent on a damn man. Both times she lost her shit was over the same man too. And I get it. For the pink ladies and T-birds that watch me all the time and jump in my lives, y'all know I get it. And that's why I was like, when a man tell you who he is, believe him. And I'm not saying that man didn't fall in love. But when a man tell you who he is, believe him. Believe him. It's a campy fucking performance. It's great. It's fantastic. It's 60s the house down boots. The fashions are amazing. It's actually very interesting. You know, old technology, but they did some interesting stuff with it. It's great. Watch for the clothes. Stay for the camp. And Patty Duke. Goddamn, bitch. Because Patty Duke can actually act. Patty Duke stands out so much, and that's why everybody knows Sparkle Neely Sparkle. Some things you might not know is that wasn't Patty Duke singing. It was dubbed. Sorry, Patty Duke sings. But she wasn't singing in that movie. What's some other interesting things that I found out about the movie? A lot of people think that Jennifer was based on Marilyn Monroe. It was not. It was actually based on the author, Jacqueline Suzanne herself, who, again, I did tell you had breast cancer. She was a failed actress and then went into being an author. Ann Wells was based on an actress named B. Cole that was a failed actress. She ends up playing an uncredited role in the original The Women, with Betty Davis, and I forgot who else is in that. And Neely O'Hara is not only Judy Garland, but she's also Betty Hutton and Frances Farmer. And Betty Hutton was in Annie Get Your Gun. That was partially her story about the producer taking her to Hollywood, believed in, after Ethel Merman got her kicked out of the play. And again, like I said, Tony Polar, it was based on Dean Martin. It made sense because all he was a drunk crooner, and he wasn't that bright. So apparently Dean Martin in real life wasn't that bright. Overall, I don't even think I'm going to name this a review. I don't think I'm going to name it a ghetto retelling. Something. I'll figure it out in a minute. But I want to thank you guys for watching. Again, get used to it. It'll be a video every day. Tomorrow's videos... Bitch. Nobody ever called text messages me either. Excuse me. Tomorrow's video will be the Camp Wanakiki finale review, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to donate to the Hunt for Pynk October. The GoFundMe is down below in the description. Our goal is only $200, so if you have a couple dollars to spare, please do that. I know my shit up here also says where you can donate and support the channel as a whole if you would like to, but I'm really more concentrating on raising the money for breast cancer for this month. But come back and do that. Subscribe so that you know when the other videos drop. And also, thank you to my existing Patreon patrons. Check your shit. Check your shit. Check your shit. Because I was trying not to do it. Names is coming off credits. Probably tomorrow. I don't know how to put it. I actually am making less money on Patreon. My money is in half from what it was at this time last year. And my October money from YouTube Direct as well as Patreon goes to breast cancer. And last year I was able to donate $83 from Patreon. And I'm only getting $41 this month because payments are not going through. Check your shit, please. And if you intend on not paying, then please take yourself off of Patreon so that I know if it's an issue or that you just don't have the money. Please. If you don't have to do monthly, and we do only start at $1 a month, there's always PayPal. You can always tip a bitch that way. If you do not have the funds to do any of this, I understand, but please do support the channel by becoming a Pink Lady or a T-Bird, and you can do that real easy by clicking the subscribe down there. When you do that, also hit the notification bell, but you can wait to the end and also click Sailor Jimmy. I thank you all for watching. I'm going to have another beer because it was a hell of a day and the week just started. But I'm going to keep up the good fight. Keep it greasy. Deuces.
Hey yo, I dog these niggas like girl's best friend, right? Ren 1010, right? Haunted by my past, same shit, different mask like Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? But I spotted you out like Spud McKenzie. Figured out the game like the Bloodhound game. I thought you was my friend, you broke my heart again. Well, the game done switched. If you a dog, I'm a bitch.